promise you, we're gonna eventually finish this truck. Welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. 49 Chevy truck. We first dropped the shock bar off, I don't remember, yesterday or day before, whatever. It's supposed to go on the inside of the frame rails, but the shocks that this wonderful 4-link came with seem excessively long for that setup. So I'm going to move it to the top of the frame rail. This bed will have a false floor or raised floor, so this will not be a problem. Top mounts, obviously lower mounts. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to work, cut this whatever length I figure out here in a minute. 1.5 inch tubing. I'm going to knock an 1.5 inch hole in this, run the bar through the tubing, weld the tubing and the bar to the frame, and then we'll come back and mount the shocks. So hopefully this won't be a very long video. And oh, I also I could not take it anymore. I had the suspension compressed, but I mean that bag still kind of sits crooked. You can see that one, but I ended up actually moving that, cutting that top mount off. And if you look down the frame rail, you can see how much out it is, I guess, versus this one. It's not flush, but it is so much more that way. And then I made some studs and used studs and nuts, put the bag through and got the nuts started. I can't really go much further that way because unless we notch the frame to clear the air hose. But yeah, that's how crooked that bottom one is. Had to compensate. And then actually this bothers me, so I may end up going in here and trimming this off, which it won't hurt anything. But visually you can tell that something's fudged right there to compensate for that lower garbage. According to the guy from Facebook, Stock Sucks or whatever, there's some new lowers coming. Whether we get them or not, I don't know. If we do get them, we'll review them. We'll take a look. I had a guy comment on the 4-link video who unfortunately bought the same kit off eBay. He's going to take a look at his, see what he's working with. We may actually fix a set for him. So let me gather up my junk. We'll head down to the shop and get this stuff machined up. Alrighty, back at work. Let me show you what we got. Kind of looking back after I cut these, I got limited material. Kind of wish I would have made them longer and then 45 the sides just for looks, no real other purpose. I may actually just cap the ends, I don't know. But so I cut them 4 inches 100. We'll take 50 off each side with this end mill just to square them up and make sure they're the right length. That's a stop for the vise. Just bump the part up against it and theoretically you'll start back where you left off. So we'll come down here, just going to touch this part. Alright, I'm going to come up here and zero this. We'll go in, we'll just do 25 for this first cut. A little more RPM. Probably squeal. Do another 25. Do 50 off each side. Or each end, rather. I'll just flip that part, take another 50 off each end. They'll be the same length. And then we'll come in here, find the center, left to right, front to back, or whatever, X and Y. And take an 1.5-inch hole saw and knock a hole in it so this tube will fit. I got the hole saw here. Yep, let me get these milled to length and I'll get back to you. All right, these things are milled to length, pretty close anyway, 4 inches long. We're gonna find the center, left to right, which will be 2 inches, and then whatever this, I didn't forgot what this width of this tubing is, but this is a edge finder. So all you do is get it going crazy. Once you see it break off a center, right there, clear out the feed, and we'll go all the way to this side. And do the same thing. Then you'll hit half. And 0 should be two inches. I'll do the same thing front to back, and we'll use this little center drill, knock a hole in it, and hole saw, put an 1.5 inch hole in it, and that tubing should fit whatever I did with it. It's right there. So I don't think I'm gonna go all the way through it. I think we'll just bump up the inside and then just weld this one side. Not really necessary to go all the way through, but yep, that's what I'm gonna do. So let me find the center on this and I'll get back to you. You can tell that drill's a little bent.
Yeah, that's what we say. Got a whole lot more run out on that one.
That one's had a rough life. So I missed this step. Before I take that out, that don't matter. I got one more thing I want to do. It's probably hot. So. All right, so I'm gonna do the other one, and you're sitting on the other one. So when I get to that next step, I'll show you what I'm. All right, so I want to put a big 45 in there so I can, give me something to weld to. So I think this tool is 1.75 inches. It's a big 45 to 2 insert 45 cutter. And just gonna plunge it down in there and give me a nice edge break. when I put that tube in there, you know, I can weld it up nice. So I'm gonna set you right here. Probably going a little fast. Something like that. Alrighty. Now let's take it back to the house and get this thing put together.
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Product, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
Didn't video a whole lot last night. Got the shock bar on. Things were moving right along. So I had the shocks where I wanted them, 90 degrees, straight up and down, same distance, top bar. So I set this one first, and then I just double checked my distance between the spring pad or the spring perch, rear end perch, and here. Actually, it was from this bracket here, and it's different. It looked funny versus the distance between that one, this side, and then here, if that makes sense. So I thought I had this crooked, but I checked it with, I was checking it with that. So 89.9 degrees is dang near 90. So how much more straight could I got? Couldn't figure out what was going on. Started pulling measurements and discovered more bad news. So like double triple checked from the back of the flange to the spring perch. It's within a 1/16, right? Face of the rotor to the frame, 1/2 inch difference. Started checking all over the place. So, and just could not figure out where this 1/2 inch was coming from. So Charlie decides to measure this upper mount. Now this thing is also 15.5. I think I said 13 in the original video, but it's 15 3/8 either side. I promise you, it is not a 1/2 inch off. So Charlie measures this. This is the center of this bar or this bracket. All right. So if you kind of visually look, that mark right in front of my finger, this mark right here, also lines up with that bolt. This mark right here also lines up with that bolt. And if you look forward, pretty well in line with that middle tab on that mount. Okay, this is not the center of this rear end. This mark right here is the true center between flange to flange. There's my 1/2 inch. So this thing is the problem. Now, looking back, or if there was ever any instructions that existed for this, the only way you could use this is if you left the leaf springs in the truck under the chassis. Put this on there and let it fall wherever it falls, and then weld it or bolt it. And that would actually center everything. And it would give you that, it would make up for that 1/2 inch difference. Well, so the only thing I could think of was cut these tabs, let it fall where it falls. We'll center the rear end, let it fall where it falls, and then re-weld it. Well, and then that opened the door of like, what else are we gonna find that's gonna be a problem? So Chris already had drop leaves, blocks, and drop springs for this thing from the beginning of abort mission, but he kept on keeping on, and now I believe Chris is ready to he's finally ready to throw in the towel on this crap. So what we're going to do, tearing it all back apart tonight, all the air rods coming back off. It'll be static lowered with springs and blocks, spindles and springs in the front. So I think enough is enough. We've wasted a ton of time on this just trying to make it right. I'm not sure I've ran into such garbage in car parts. I mean, I don't have a clue where this stuff's made. I mean, I would hate to think this is made in America, but it did come. Where did it come from? Who sold? Airbag It?
Airbagit.com.
So this kit comes from airbagit.com. I don't know if they own Chassis Tech or what the deal is, but that's where this kit came from. That's who shipped that kit to Chris. So I'm gonna drag out some tools and we're gonna demolish this thing, get it tore apart, and put some lowering parts on. So airbag delete, here we go. All right, after 3 weeks of fiddling with this thing, we completely removed everything in about 20 minutes and had leaf springs hanging into this chassis. So if my awful attempt at explaining what was going on made absolutely no sense, well, this might. It's pretty simple. I mean, it'll give you a real good idea. So leaf springs, shocks are in. This apparatus is still attached. Now you can see the leaf spring centering the rear end. It's off. It pulled it back to the driver's side. So you know, that's where they were centering. This is where they were centering it, and then this is the center of the actual truck. And I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's definitely crooked, or was crooked. It's straight now. So the back's back leaf sprung, got blocks, BellTech springs, and we'll pull the front back apart in the morning and put drop springs in it. They are right here. So back simple, and figure out what else is left to do. Firewall. So yeah, we'll put drop springs in the front in the morning, or maybe tonight. I don't even know what time it is, and start fiddling with this firewall, because I imagine like some of this hardware has to come out. I'd like to try to fix some of those holes. It looks like they accessed the firewall with a pickaxe, so fix some of that, and Chris can finally take his favorite vehicle ever back home. So yeah, don't buy that 4-link at all. Don't even look at it, and if you did, whew, good luck. So we'll see you in the morning. All right, given the fact that I try to show everything around here, the good, the bad, me being dumb, everything. So we, in fact, or Chris rather, did in fact receive new lower mounts for this 4-link. These are of a much better quality. They're same design or same idea, but a totally different like product. Much better product. So, trying to find somewhere to lay this thing. So this is the piece that he got. I mean, right out the gate, you see this spring plate is different, and it's also the way they've got it cut. It fits together, you know, for the welding and keeping things square. It's got this other gusset on the inside there. It's done the same way. Still the same with this shock bar or mount. I have no idea what the idea for that is, because I mean, I guess you run a bolt, supposed to run a bolt through that. I don't know. But here's an interesting piece. Factory U-bolts do fit. So yeah. So maybe that kit was just absolutely supplied with the wrong lower bag mount. Too little too late, as you can see. Trying to talk Chris into putting a 275/60/15 on the back, because it looks pretty good with the more fatty stuff under there. But getting off track. Yeah, so parts did show up. He sold every bit of the air ride, so it is absolutely all gone. But yeah, just figured I'd throw that out there. So either they made a design change suddenly, or maybe we got the wrong parts, or Chris got the wrong parts, or whatever. I got the wrong parts to install. So yeah, figured I'd throw that in there before I did this video edit. All right, I'm not suggesting do this, but this is how I do this. So not enough weight in the truck to compress that coil spring with the floor jack. All it does is pick it up. So if you ratchet strap the frame to the cherry picker, both sides, and then cherry picker to the control arm, it works against each other, and it will compress that control arm and spring and all. I mean, I would suggest using a little bigger eyelet than that thing, but that's all I could find. So yeah, safety third. I'm gonna go to the other side and do the same thing, but that's how I do it. Alrighty, got the firewall in. Didn't mean to paint that one on this side, so it was a little hard to describe. And then somehow I had a massive brain fart between my dimensions on the spacing on this one and this one, but I won't let you look at it that long, so you can't tell what I did wrong. But I did screw it up. So maybe once it's all painted flat black, you'll never know. Oh, the bed's back on. The bed is actually attached. So I believe it's gonna go home today, believe that or not. So this may or may not be the end of the videos for the 49. I guess in conclusion, for the entire build, well, not entire build, because I didn't do the whole thing, did I? I guess in conclusion to all of what I've done, I'll say the body mounts, I would definitely do those again. As for this craptastic air ride, no, do not buy anything Chassis Tech. Don't do it. Chris actually sold all this for dirt cheap, so, and it's a guy we know, so, or he knows more than I do, but full disclosure, it's kind of a turd, but what do you do? The only thing that may have to do before it leaves is may have to notch that bed for those brake calipers, because you know the rear end's hanging right now, and we may have to put the wheel tubs in. I pretty much regret doing this shock bar like that, but at the time with the 4-link, that was the best way, and he's gonna have to do a false floor anyhow. So I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I would do different when and if I did another one. So live and learn. 'Cause I guess that's about all I can say about it. Any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And again, thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage, and we'll see you on the next one.